everyone, welcome to the Wrestling Experience.
The Elimination Chamber Predictions Super Show featuring a quick recap of Raw and SmackDown because we missed it this week.
That was quite a mouthful.
I know. I can't believe I did not stumble there. I've stumbled on far easier sentences and phrases before.
Exactly. I'm Jazz.
And I'm Johnny.
And as you said, we are here to recap Elimination Chambers plus a quick recap of Raw and SmackDown because we missed it. That's got to be our new tagline.
Because we missed it.
Exactly. So, let's go with the most recent match that was added. And again, we're recording this on a Sunday morning, the day of the Elimination Chamber. So watch us upload the video and then WWE announces like 4 other matches. But let's go with Nia Jax and Shayna Bazler versus Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. And I'll ask you, who do you think is going to win this?
Well, I have a funny feeling that they're doing the thing that they tend to do where two baby faces are going at it for a WrestleMania match for a big title, and since they don't have a way to make them hate each other, they're going to win the tag titles and then later find a way to hate each other when they lose them, eventually right before the show. So I actually think, even though I don't like having Shania win it back only to lose it again, I think that Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks are going to take the titles here.
I love it because I completely disagree with you. I think Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair losing the title because something happens during the match like that causes a rift between them is the perfect way to kind of skyrocket this feud and to kind of, first of all solidify that Bianca Belair is going to choose Sasha Banks because that's the obvious choice. But let's not forget that on Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler have been on fire because not only did they show up on Raw, they also showed up on NXT and they also showed up on SmackDown this week. So it was really, really nice to see a lot of Shania. Obviously, they're continuing and they're shoving down our throat the whole My Whole thing. That's happening pretty much every episode.
Was that organic? Was that planned? Because at this point, I have no idea what's going on.
I'm pretty sure My Whole was planned, but then what happened? Again on SmackDown, when she did a leg drop and she missed it and all that stuff. It's clear what they're trying to do. They're just trying to milk this thing for what it is. But
it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yes. So I disagree. I think that Shania are going to retain this because also it's a very, very unfair of Lana and Naomi, who actually won the number 1 contender match on Raw this past week.
Or how about the Women's Dusty Classic winners?
Exactly. So
they also get a title shot,
it's
right?
like you have Lana and Naomi that have been racking up wins. Then you have the Dusty women that have been racking up wins and actually winning a tournament. And then you have Bianca and Sasha that actually don't like each other, but they respect each other. And all of a sudden they have a title match. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I think that Shania is going to win. And I'm glad that we disagree on the first match. But I know that you want to talk about Reginald because he kind of is...
We don't entirely disagree. I just think that they're going to win the titles before the implosion you're talking about is going to happen. Kind of like Shawn Michaels and John Cena that time before their WrestleMania match. Or I think John Cena did that with like 1 million guys and won tag team titles with them before their feud. But, it probably makes more sense for them to just retain. And maybe you're right, just to speed things up, they'll have the implosion at Elimination Chamber. Maybe those two teams will get involved. But yeah, this did come about because Reginald is the master manipulator who has a win over Nia Jax because of what happened on SmackDown.
Beautiful.
Where a Ding Dong Hello segment, which poor Bayley, nobody used the door, ended in this 6-person, 6-man and woman tag match where Reginald came out and he basically talked trash to Shania and Bayley, saying that Sasha is amazing and Bianca Belair is good, but she'll never beat Sasha. And then Sasha came out and said, "Don't speak for me." Bianca came out, and then this whole thing turned into Reginald saying, "I want to have a 6-man tag match, playa." He didn't say playa, but he might as well have. Mm-hmm. And he ended up pinning Nia Jax. And he ended up being super impressive. Nia was very furious at Reginald. But yeah, that was an impressive segment on SmackDown. And that all led to this. Because of Reginald's sacrifice, pinning Nia Jax, Sasha and Bianca get a title shot. Reginald doesn't even get his title shot. I think we need justice for Reginald, really.
Justice for Reginald. Perfect. # justice for Reginald. So that was great. Let's go on to our next match. Let's go with Asuka versus Lacey Evans. And I'm going to say card subject to change because of what happened on Raw when there was going to be a match. And Peyton Royce was the only one that was kind of in the whole match on Raw, and then Lacey Evans is on the apron and she announces that she's pregnant, and then obviously everyone looks at Ric Flair. Ric Flair is kind of, bleeding all over.
Just
He's
woos.
bleeding. He's crying. He woos. What's going on? But, in real life, she actually is pregnant, and I guess they use that as a storyline. So clearly, she's not going to be wrestling Asuka. I don't think so. So,
although it's still being advertised at this moment.
yes. So let's say this match was happening, but it's not with Lacey Evans. Who do you think would be a suitable opponent for Asuka?
Well, obviously not Lacey Evans' not tag team partner Peyton Royce. Actually, no. I feel like that's probably going to happen. I don't think they'll just be like, Charlotte's going to be like, oh, hey, what about me? We're good friends. Why don't you give me a title shot? That could just totally happen. And Charlotte just surprisingly wins, and there you go. There's your WrestleMania feud, Charlotte versus Asuka. But I do think Lacey's going to show up and do something. I just don't know what's going to happen.
But who do you think is going to... Okay, so you think it's going to be Charlotte?
Okay. I'm just tossing out ideas. In the end, I don't know who it's going to be.
I want your prediction right now.
My prediction is Asuka retains.
Okay, but I still need someone. I have someone, and I'm also going to give a prediction.
I'm going to go with the safe Peyton Royce.
Peyton Royce. Okay, cool. So I was also going to say Peyton Royce, but I think I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say Rhea Ripley. Asuka is going to win, though.
Well, yeah, she should.
Yeah.
That'd be cool, but that'd be a very disappointing way to reintroduce Rhea Ripley if she's just going to lose to Asuka. But at the same time, who cares, right?
I think
it's still going to be.
I think that's a good idea because I think Asuka could definitely make her look good. We know the potential of Rhea Ripley, but I think at the same time, Asuka needs a big win. I think Asuka needs to defeat someone who has this great potential and this kind of superstar, kind of tag to her, and I think Asuka definitely has to go back to her winning ways, and I think defeating Rhea Ripley would definitely do that.
Yes, Asuka needs to look like $1 million again.
Absolutely. So let's go on to our next match: Bobby Lashley, our champion, our U.S. champion, versus Keith Lee versus Matt Riddle. Who do you think is going to win this?
So it's kind of being set up that Lashley's going to lose at some point, but I actually think he's going to retain tonight. I feel like because of the triple threat dynamic, Riddle and Keith Lee, you think one of them is going to come home with it, but I think because of that, Lashley's going to find a way to retain. He looked especially dominant in recent weeks against them, so I imagine he's just going to continue that streak and retain, and there might be some sort of implosion on Riddle and Lee's side.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think this side of Bobby Lashley, and we also saw it on Raw, where he's kind of like a human bulldozer, pretty much. At this point, this kind of mean streak of Bobby Lashley, I'm really digging it. And I think that Bobby Lashley is going to retain. I think Bobby Lashley is going to submit Matt Riddle. Keith Lee, though, however, is not going to be pinned or submitted. So Keith Lee is going to be like, hey, I actually wasn't pinned. So, let's have a feud of our own. And I think this might actually go all the way to WrestleMania, and I think it might be I was gonna say Keith Riddle, but Keith Lee versus Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, that seems like a good one-on-one match, and yeah, for sure. I don't think Lee is taking any pins or submissions here. I think that we're gonna have Riddle get ragdolled in a hurt lock again. Poor guy.
Pretty much. So let's go on to the Raw side. We have Drew McIntyre, our champion, versus AJ Styles, versus Jeff Hardy, versus Randy Orton, versus Sheamus, versus Kofi Kingston. What happened there?
What?
It was supposed to be The Miz, but something happened on Monday Night Raw. The Miz imploded, right?
Yeah, The Miz was upset, right? He was like, he ended up saying he was going to do a crazy move. I think what Edge told him a few weeks ago really got into his head. And he's like, how's this for a controversial playing poker move? And then he takes himself out of the Elimination Chamber. But then he has to compete in a match to get back in. Well, sort of. If he wins, Morrison gets in. And he competed against Kofi, and the winner would get back in the chamber. And now Kofi Mania 2 is straight on the horizon.
Pretty much.
I wonder where Mustafa Ali was during that match. I don't even remember if he did anything.
Probably in a dark room backstage with Aleister Black.
That would have been interesting. That's where they're all hanging out. Is Andrade there too?
Remember Aleister Black?
No, I completely forgot.
Oh, God. They've butchered all of these guys. But hey, anyway, so yeah.
Ali, Murphy, they're all in a dark room somewhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
Pretty much. So
And then there was a gauntlet match, right?
Yeah, exactly. There was a gauntlet match, and again, we all saw the outcome of the gauntlet match. Sheamus is going to be the final entrant of the Elimination Chamber tonight. So, question: first of all, do you think that there's any chances that Drew McIntyre will lose his title? Because again, the odds are insurmountable.
Edge certainly thinks so. Edge kept saying, even on commentary on SmackDown, he's like, I don't like his odds. I don't like his odds. But
13 men.
I love Drew McIntyre's odds. I think he's going to win. Like, we don't know what... We just know that Sheamus comes in last. We don't know the rest. Like, the order of eliminations in the gauntlet doesn't affect that, I don't think. So we just know that Sheamus is coming in last. And, like, I mean, I can't imagine what could happen. Like, the only person I could see taking the title off of Drew is Randy Orton, and I kind of don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Sheamus is gonna steal it so that they can have a rematch at Mania. I just think Drew is gonna look dominant and win, and it makes sense. Like, why have him like just crush Goldberg at the Royal Rumble only for him to just get stomped in an Elimination Chamber and lose the title? Seems weird to me. So my prediction is Drew retains.
So I agree with you with a lot of your points. If Drew actually comes up first though, and he goes all the way, and he's being beaten down, bruised and battered and all that kind of stuff, and then Sheamus defeats him, it doesn't make Drew look bad at all, because again, Drew lasted the whole Elimination Chamber. And
true. It also doesn't make him look bad if The Miz cashes in right after he wins the whole thing.
True.
Kind of like the reverse Roman Reigns picking on the winner of the SmackDown Chamber.
Yeah, because I don't see anyone else winning besides either Drew McIntyre or Sheamus. I think that a WrestleMania match between Sheamus and Drew McIntyre could be amazing. And with the fact that the fans are going to be there and Drew winning in front of fans, I think that's going to tell a great story considering the year that he's had.
He's going to beat Sheamus in 18 seconds. Isn't that familiar?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to... Oh, man. I was going to say I'm going to go on a limb and say Sheamus, but...
Do it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go on a limb and I'm gonna say Sheamus wins. It could be a wonk finish. He could be holding his tights, whatever. But I think that Sheamus is going to win this, and they're going to have a rematch at WrestleMania, and it's going to be great. Drew McIntyre is going to win in front of fans, and they're going to send the fans home happy.
As I would be disappointed for Drew to lose his title,
bless you.
But thank you. I don't know how I managed to sneeze and keep talking. That was impressive.
And you had your eyes open.
Yes, absolutely. Although I think Sheamus has been killing it lately, so him winning the title, I think, is totally well deserved.
Mm-hmm. All right, so now we're gonna go to our, I guess, 1-2 punch. We're gonna have Jey Uso versus Kevin Owens versus King Corbin versus Sami Zayn versus Cesaro versus Dyno Bryan. I have absolutely no idea who's going to win this.
All I can say is I suspect this will be the opening match, right, to give the winner a chance to, chill out before, unless it's like really Roman plays dirty and it's like he's right there as soon as the match is over and he's like, all right, let's go, and he spears them 1, 2, 3.
That could happen. That's the thing. I feel like that's more likely to happen.
But I mean, you kind of take away from the fact that it's gonna, you like kind of like just cut a match from the card like that, because what's gonna happen? You're just gonna spear the winner instantly and it's gonna be over. But yeah, this is quite a difficult match to predict. This is the one I have no idea. I could see in a weird world, I could see Jey Uso winning. I can see Kevin Owens continuing his streak, and I can also just see Cesaro. I think Cesaro has a legitimate chance. Like, I feel like if there was a crowd right now, Cesaro would be white hot. Like, the Cesaro section was like, Cesaro's always been a fan favorite. It's just the booking's been weird. So like, I feel like right now he would be cheered over almost everybody.
So what I liked about SmackDown, first of all, I thought SmackDown was an excellent episode. We definitely have to kind of, mention that. What I liked the fact is that Edge basically visited, like, pretty much all the men. He spoke to Cesaro, Dyno Bryan, Kevin Owens. He was praising each man. Let's also, I also have to mention the fact that, like, when Kevin Owens was talking with Dyno Bryan and Cesaro, they were talking about how Kevin Owens, like, basically doesn't play nice with his partners, and they also mentioned a list. Yeah, obviously referring to Chris Jericho. That was actually pretty cool, because me being a huge Chris Jericho fan, probably one of my favorite wrestlers. But yeah, like I think this is really, really hard to predict. And let's not also forget that, Reigns and Edge kind of confronted each other to open the show, but also to end the show. We all know how it ended with Roman Reigns getting a spear on Edge. I do think that the safest choice would be Cesaro, right? Because they've been kind of pushing him like crazy, and like now's his time to shine, and he actually will put a great effort, and he'll lose, and that's about it. So I think that I'm gonna go with. I mean, it's either gonna be Cesaro or Daniel Bryan. Kevin Owens. Like, it's just if that happens though, like this has to be the very, very last time that Kevin Owens gets a shot against Roman Reigns. You know what I mean? Because it's already been 4 times.
Yeah, I know. The problem is, we never had a solid like match where Kevin Owens actually legitimately lost. Every single time had shenanigans. So it's almost like I don't mind saying again. I think like they've always delivered each and every match. It got better and better. So it's not even a bad idea at all. But yeah, I would like to see Cesaro take it. He's not going to beat Roman, but at least we can give him this moment. Jey Uso might win, but probably not, right? Like, I mean, what's going to happen there? Jey Uso wins, and then like I mean that's like someone's fan fiction, right? Jey Uso wins, and then when it's time to lay down for the chief, Jey Uso makes his incredible face turn again, and all of a sudden it's back to where we were when this whole thing started, and everybody likes a story that ends where it begins, right? That's a classic trope.
The finger poke of doom, also don't forget that.
Also, yeah, you could like finger poke him really bad.
So I'm gonna go with Cesaro. I think Cesaro deserves it at this point. I'm a huge Dyno Bryan fan. He's in my fave 5s. Let's not forget that, my boy D. Bry. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Cesaro.
Yeah, at this point, I feel like if like management told Bryan he was gonna win the match, he'd be like, no, give it to Cesaro or something. Like it's almost like Daniel Bryan is vouching for like Shinsuke and Cesaro to elevate them, which I can appreciate.
For sure.
I kind of want to predict Cesaro as well, but
okay.
Like. At this point, do we have any predictions in common? This is like the first time ever.
No, our first one. I mean, you say Sasha and Bianca, and I say Nia and Shayna. So besides that, we
are the same.
Yeah,
damn.
That's great though. That's fine.
Yeah. Also, our theory of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens like not interacting was totally thrown out the window on SmackDown.
That's true.
Although Kevin Owens didn't wrestle in that 6-man tag at all, I don't think. I think he just got involved in weird shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about that because there was a lot of like weird stuff happening. Like Baron Corbin was behind Bryan waiting for the cue while the replay was being like everyone was making mistakes on that.
But it's really funny because even commentary, like even Michael was like, "Oh my!" Like
what's he gonna do?
Yeah, what's he gonna do? And then you have replays. It was pretty bad. It was funny, but yeah.
So. The prediction, I'm going to go with Kevin Owens again.
Okay,
cool. Although I want Cesaro to win, I'll go with Kevin Owens just to be different.
So we have 2 different choices. That's great. And now, so for me, it'll be Roman Reigns versus Cesaro. For you, it'll be Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. The outcome stays the same. I think Roman Reigns is going to successfully defend his title.
Yeah, same. I don't see that changing very much. I don't even know if I'm expecting an actual match or one of those like he's gonna pick the scraps, kind of like Edge did when he cashed in the Money in the Bank for the first time and just like speared John Cena twice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if I'm expecting that or if we're gonna get an actual match here, but either way, Roman retains, right?
Yeah, and I think we might see Edge in this pay-per-view. So. I honestly really like this format of kind of doing the predictions and kind of sprinkling Raw and SmackDown in there. I guess something notable, I guess a lot of people might be asking like, oh, but where is Big E? Why isn't he defending his IC title? Well, if you guys watch SmackDown, you'll know that Big E was injured by the hands of Apollo Crews, and he just kind of threw the how many ton steel steps onto Big E, so Big E is going to be out for a little while, it seems. And also,
just to say about that, Apollo Crews has been on fire. Like that was one of the highlights of SmackDown, in my opinion. Like Apollo Crews has just been very good with his heel turn, very impressive. I'm very pleased with that segment. It shows how important the IC title is, what he's willing to do to get it. On the other hand, Otis turning heel what the hell was that?
Yeah,
What was that?
yeah. It seems like the Alpha Academy influence is slowly creeping up on Otis. Who knows what Gable has been teaching him, right?
Imagine being in a tag team with heavy machinery, only to get split up so that you could become a single star, only to then be put in another tag team and turn heel. Like,
And wear singlets.
I don't get it. Like, I mean, obviously, I think Chad Gable is great, and I want to see him on TV a lot. But like, I just find that this was a weird decision. Tucky is now in obscurity,
Poor guy.
and Otis literally killed Rey Mysterio by splashing. I mean, that was a beautiful splash, but yeah.
I guess Otis wasn't over the whole Mysterio family saga, and he was like, "One for good measure, Ray, you stupid idiot, and your stupid son."
Seth Rollins. Like that's another thing that deters me away from Cesaro, is because Seth Rollins clearly talked about Cesaro. That looks like it's going to be the big singles, no title feud that's being built for Seth Rollins and Cesaro. And I hope Cesaro gets a big win at WrestleMania for that. Like, I think they'll get a spot on the card.
For sure. So that was it. That was our predictions for Elimination Chambers. Do you guys think that we're way off? What are your predictions? We would like to know as well. So yeah, make sure to like the video, subscribe, please share with your friends.
We're back.
Exactly, we're back. So
better than ever.
Oh god. So that's it, guys. We'll see you for the Elimination Chambers results, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Is that it? Do you not have something to say to our viewers?
Oh, I always got to come up with something to say. Like, come on, man. Like, don't you have things to talk about? Like, don't you have thoughts?